Hey there! What's up? How was your break? I hope you had a lot of fun and rest. Did you eat lots of typical food? I love São João's food. And you? Do you love it very much or just a little?
I love it. I love.
Did you cook? Do you have any special recipe? Today, we're going to see a recipe, but it's not related to São João. It's a recipe of a Spanish omelette.
Oh my God! Wow!
Let's read and I'll ask you to answer some questions afterwards. You can find this text on page 44 of your student's book. Shall we?
Zach's Spanish omelet. Level of difficulty, easy. Time, 40 minutes. Serves, 4 people. About this recipe. I love food, but I don't have much time to cook. This is one of my favorite recipes because there aren't many ingredients and it doesn't need a lot of preparation. All you need are some potatoes, an onion, a few eggs, and some oil. It's easy. Try it and see. Ingredients: 500 grams of potatoes, 1 onion, 150 milliliters of oil, 6 eggs. Directions: 1. Cut the potatoes into small pieces. Chop the onion. 2. Heat the oil in a large frying pan. Add the potatoes and onion and fry for 20 to 30 minutes. Stir occasionally until the potatoes are soft. 3. Beat the eggs in a bowl. 4. Add the potatoes and onion to the bowl and stir with the eggs. Before you pour the mixture into the frying pan, add some salt and pepper. Then cook on medium heat. 5. To cook the top of the omelet, put the frying pan under the broiler for a few minutes, or turn the omelet in the frying pan. Tip: don't cut the omelet when it's very hot. Wait for it to cool, about 10 minutes. Zach's Food Facts. Many countries have their own kinds of omelet. The Italian frittata contains cheese, vegetables, and sometimes pasta. A Chinese omelet has vegetables and soy sauce. There are peppers and hot chilies in a Mexican omelet. The classic French omelet has eggs. Do you know any egg recipes?
Great! Now, tell me if these sentences are true or false according to the text. You can make this omelette in under an hour. True. Now this one. Leave the omelette to cool before cutting it. True. He says to wait for about 10 minutes. Now this one. Add salt and pepper when you beat the eggs. False. He says to add the salt and pepper before you pour the mixture into a frying pan. Now this one. You need 3 different vegetables to make the omelette. It's false. You just need two vegetables, potatoes and onions. Now this one. A Chinese omelette has vegetables and pasta. False. A Chinese omelette has vegetables and soy sauce. Now the last one.
The chef
Likes the recipe because it's quick to make. True, exactly. He says it's one of my favorite recipes because it doesn't need a lot of preparation. Well done. Well, in the text, we saw some words and expressions such as much, many, some, any, a lot of. And our class today is about these expressions of quantity. Expressions of quantity tell us how many or how much of something there is. Compare these two sentences. We get a little rain in winter. Many people live in Salvador. We use a little with non-countable nouns like rain, snow, pollution, etc. We cannot use a little with countable nouns. We use many with countable nouns like people, cars, chairs, etc. We cannot use many with uncountable nouns. Today we are going to look at some expressions of quantity that are used with both countable and non-countable nouns. Whether to use how much or how many depends on whether the following noun is countable or non-countable. In English, how much is often combined with non-countable quantities, known as abstracts. These are common words such as time, water, and fun. Countable nouns are objects that you can count, such as apples, telephones, or cars. For example, talking about money and cost. Money is an example of a non-countable noun. So, when talking about money and costs, you will need to use the phrase how much. How much? How much does the book cost? How much do the toys cost? How much can also be used with the verb to be to ask about a price. How much is it? How much are the apples? However, if the question concerns a specific unit of currency, such as dollars or reais, both of which are countable, you should use how many. How many dollars does the house cost? How many euros do you need it for lunch? How many reais can you afford? Now let's take a look at more practice with countable and non-countable nouns. Other categories of non-countable nouns include activities like housework, music, socializing, etc. Food types like meat, beef, pork, fish, etc. Groups of items, for example, luggage, baggage, furniture, software, etc. Liquids, for example, juice, water, alcohol. Materials, for example, wood, steel, leather. And when asked for the quantity of any of these terms, make sure you use how much. How much luggage did you take with you on vacation? How much alcohol did you drink? How much pork should I buy? How much homework do you have? How much knowledge do you have about the subject? How much help did he give you last week? How much advice would you like? Now let's take how many. How many is used with countable nouns. These nouns are easy to recognize because they generally end in the plural form with the S. How many books are there on the shelf? How many days did it take you to finish the project? How many computers do you have? However, there are a number of important exceptions to this rule, including the following countable nouns that have irregular plurals and do not take the S. For example, man, man. How many men are in the boat? Woman, women. How many women are singing? Child, children. How many children came to the class yesterday? Person, people. How many people joined the cause? Tooth, teeth. How many teeth has your child lost? Foot, feet. How many feet is the football field? Mouse, mice. How many baby mice are there? Check now how to use containers and measurements. If you are looking for an exact measurement when speaking about food types and liquids, it's a good idea to use containers or measurements. In this case, you can use how many to ask a question. For example, with containers, how many bottles of water should I buy? How many boxes of rice should I get? How many jars of jam do you have? Or how many gallons of gas did you use on your trip? How many cups of butter do I need for the recipe? How many pounds of sand should I mix into the cement? Now let's see how to answer how much and how many questions exactly. To provide an answer to a how much or a how many question, you can provide exact amounts. For example, how much does the book cost? It's $22. How many people came to the party? There are more than 200 people there. How much pasta should I buy? I think we need 3 boxes. Now let's see how to answer questions of quantity approximately. To provide approximate answers, you can use phrases like a lot of, some, a few, and a little. Note that there are a slight difference between countable and non-countable answers. You can use a lot of with both countable and non-countable nouns, which are followed by the noun in the answer. For example, how much rice do we have? We have a lot of rice. How many friends did you make on vacation? I made a lot of friends. You can also use a lot of for both countable and non-countable nouns when the answer is not followed by a noun. For example, how much time do you have today? I have a lot. How many cars have you had in your life? I've had a lot. You can use some with both countable and non-countable. How much money do you have? I have some, or I have some money, but not much. How many apples are there on the table? There are some apples on the table. You should use a few with countable nouns and a little with non-countable nouns. Examples. How much fun did you have? I had a little fun last night. How many glasses did you drink? I drank a few glasses of water. Got it? Now it's time for some practice. You will find a quiz next section. Do it and don't forget, practice makes perfect. See you next class. Bye!